This is episode number 62 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We're glad that you guys could join us on this chilly day.
Man, things took a turn.
Like a 40-degree turn.
Unbelievable.
Like within about 4 hours.
Yeah. This morning it was in the mid 70s. Through lunch it was in the mid 70s, and all of a sudden, within about 10 minutes, the temperature dropped 20 degrees. Rain, wind.
We're somewhere in the 30s now.
Yeah, it changed a bunch.
Yeah, we're bundled here in the studio.
Yes, we are. I may or may not have a toboggan on.
Is it an appropriate moment to say, "Baby, it's cold outside"?
Not to me, it's not.
Not to you? I'll just sing it to you then. Baby, it's cold outside.
Okay, that's good.
Kevin's feeling awkward in the studio, y'all.
I don't feel awkward, man.
I can keep going.
I don't get awkward. I mean, things are awkward if you make them awkward.
Well, yeah, that's everywhere I go.
Life.
By the way, good job on the opening.
Thanks.
It was better last week.
It sure was, man. She did such a good job.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it. I literally was sitting there. I listened to podcasts in the car. So I was listening to the podcast, and I was like, man, she's way better than me.
I think she's gunning for your job, man.
She doesn't have to gun very hard. I mean, the only thing that's like in my favor is the regular season of football is over. That's the only thing I got going for me right now. Because other than that, Haley, I think you're better than me. So
well,
it's okay. You're better than Craig too.
That's true. That's true.
It's just
neither one of us have an Emmy.
No, not even close. Nope, not even close.
So do you like last week's episode?
I loved it.
You're gonna get your home decorated now?
You know what? I would have been the only one in the room that has actually used an interior decorator.
Really?
Yeah.
When have you used one?
So, just happened to go to church with a guy that was an interior decorator, and when we moved into our very first house, he said, "Listen, I'd love to come over and just kind of check things out, look at your house, and offer some suggestions." And so we were like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
I mean, free advice, absolutely, I'll take it. So he comes over, and one of the things that we had in the kitchen was like, it was turquoise, like a turquoise walls and stuff, and we were
turquoise
like,
walls?
Yeah. And we were like, we really need to, like, we think we want to change these. He's like, no, don't change them. The only thing you need to do is paint your ceiling green.
Okay.
What? He was like, yes. And he pulled out his color wheel, and he was like, this green. And it was almost like a mint green.
Yeah.
And he said, that's what needs to happen in here. We did it.
And?
It was fantastic.
Nice.
And most people don't look at the ceiling, so
sure.
Most people didn't know, but people that did, they were like, I would have never painted this green. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Then the people that bought it kept the turquoise and painted it tan. So they didn't like it. But we did. It was different. It was fun. It was,
Yeah.
It was a bright place to be.
I like it when you can do something that's different than the norm. I mean,
absolutely.
Everybody can go mauve or
sure
white.
Yeah.
So
the neutrals.
Yeah.
Our kitchen was not neutral, but it wasn't like in your face. I mean, it just felt like a happy place to be.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, he didn't really give us too much. I mean, there was a lot that we had to change in that house, but that was the thing that I remember looking back on going, that was risky. It was risky.
But I mean, like, it is, but like at the end of the day, I mean, like, if you don't like it, paint over it.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's exactly where we were. I mean, this is the kitchen that also had a ceiling fan in it, and it wasn't centered on anything.
It was just there.
It was like in a weird quadrant of the room.
Weird quadrant.
And so we wound up taking that ceiling fan and moving it to the bedroom, and then one in the bedroom we moved to the front room, like a front living room. And if you remember from a couple episodes back, I was saying that house only had a switched outlet to begin with.
Yeah.
And so we wired in a ceiling fan, so we had light and and a fan in that room. So there were a lot of things. I mean, there was a room that was what's the children's books with like Froggy? Yeah.
Like Froggy went a courtin'? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Like I don't remember. I don't remember all of a sudden. But anyway, so it was painted like that, and then there was another room that was like safari. There was a lion, like drawn on the wall. It was really cool.
Very themed rooms.
Yes, but it was kind of like, no, we don't want that. We just want normal rooms, and so we painted over all that. But we had cheetah print wallpaper down the hallway. Definitely fixed that.
You may have bought a brothel.
Well, maybe. We got a good deal on it, though. It was such a good deal. So, anyway, but yeah, I would have been the only one in the room. Interior decorator had been to my house.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it was a great episode. I thought Mel was she was hysterical. I laughed at her the whole time.
Yeah,
so,
and she's just as much fun off the air as she is on the air.
Oh, I can't imagine that's not true.
Fireball.
Yeah. And Haley did a great job.
Yeah,
a really great job. I mean, I was sitting there going, Haley, these are way better questions than I would have asked.
Well, and like what was really cool about it is they ended up. I think they're actually going to get together up in Seattle because that's where Mel's son lives.
Okay,
so they're gonna. She may get some decorating help up there. Who knows?
Cool.
So, cool. But yeah, man, all things moving. Like I'm at the tail end of what has now become a 2-month project. So, and that sounds like a long time, but like, I don't think that everybody really understands like how extensive of like a gut this house went through.
No, I don't think so either. And honestly, I mean, the amount of work that you're doing on it, you had a contractor come in and do quite a bit.
He did the bulk of it for sure.
And the amount of work that you're doing on it in your spare time, which is of oxymoron in and even of itself. But like, I think that the amount of work that has gone into that 2 months is fairly reasonable. That's not what you thought I was going to say.
Should have taken longer.
Should have taken way longer. No, I mean, it's like a different house.
Yeah. No, I actually had a buddy over tonight. He was helping me do some trim pieces for the bathroom, and he was like, "I don't recognize this house. This is not the same house I came over to a couple months ago."
Right.
And I was like, "No, it's not." I mean, like, you may even need like directions to get around now because the walls aren't in the same place.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's bizarre. And it was not like literally when we started this project, our main objective was to redo the ceilings. That's all we wanted to do.
That is not all that you did.
No,
not even close.
No,
not only did you do the ceilings, you also did the floors and a lot of stuff in between.
Yeah. It's a disease, man. I can't just do one thing.
Well, you got to do it right.
I don't know. So like, I'm really happy. It's kind of like pulling the Band-Aid off. You know, like it's super painful.
Yeah,
but like you just go ahead and get all of it.
Yeah,
because you're there.
I'm with you. I've been there before. I'm doing that like on our RV right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've kind of gutted that thing, and you're almost done now.
Yeah, getting very, very close. But like, I mean, even little things like I bought gutter spouts for it today. Like, I mean, it's a simple little thing, but you know, there's little gutters on an RV, and they just run along the top,
right? And
if there's no spout to like drain it off the side,
it just gathers,
and it just rolls down the side of your RV, and water's going to go the path of least resistance. It's going to find a way to get in, and rot stuff out. So for just a little bit of money, buy a plastic gutter spout And so, it's little things that wind up adding more time. I mean, they didn't cost much, but it's going to take some time to put them on,
Yeah.
So,
which, by the way, I mean, that's probably going to be a good episode to do here pretty quick. I'm actually fixing to put some on the barn in order to alleviate some drainage issues we've got going on.
Well, I would appreciate it. I literally walked through a waterfall this tonight getting into.
I don't know if there's much I can do about that other than maybe like an awning, but
that just extends the waterfall.
Yeah, you're just gonna get wet sooner.
I've actually done gutters before on the house. It was a great. I mean, I had gutters, but they were awful.
Yeah.
So we had them redo it, and man, they're good gutters are really, really. They're very beneficial to your house.
Yeah.
It's not just something that you might want for this, that, or the other reason. Like, it saves your roof in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
I there's probably good reasons not to put them on in some places, and because of the grade and the slope and all this different things. But I'm excited to put them on because we're really just trying to get rid of a mud hole is what we're doing.
Yes.
Because there's no concrete underneath this side of the roof, and so we got to get the water away from it.
Yeah.
Because it just dumps it right there.
Yep.
So, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about today.
Not anywhere close.
So, and it's sort of, happenstance of that we're even talking about this, because what are we dealing with?
Well, tonight it's kind of like you said, it's a little bit timely. We're talking about how to prepare your home for cold weather.
Yeah. So if you live in our neighborhood, it may be a little too late.
Yeah, exactly.
Today,
well, you're going to get it tomorrow, which is when this episode comes out. But
please listen, because it's going to be colder here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And some of you guys up north are already dealing with some of this, and I think for a lot of people up north, some of this is going to be like, well, yeah, that's what we do. Starting in October.
Yeah. The old hat for them.
Yeah. But those of us that are, slightly south of the Mason-Dixon line.
We're almost to the equator, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, hadn't quite gotten, and honestly, it's been chillier a lot earlier here this year.
Yes, it has. Normally.
This isn't the first time we've gotten below 40.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, I think last year, the year before, we were well into November before, maybe the end of November, early December before it got very cold.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've even seen it around here, get well into December before it gets even really chilly.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then by Christmas, it's hot again.
Right.
In Houston, we have I think we have 10 days of winter.
We have 12 micro seasons.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's they're not 10 days in a row.
Right. Yeah.
One here, one there, 3 here. So anyway, but I think it's really important to know that there are some things that you should be doing when the season changes to just kind of prepare yourself for cold weather. Even in Houston, it's going to come at some point.
Right.
At some point, it's going to come. If you live up north, you're right. You're probably listening to this episode going, okay, those guys, we've already done this.
They're late to the game.
Yeah, they're late to the game. But at the end of the day, that's part of the reason we're doing this episode. There are people out there that they don't know this information.
Right.
Or they've just never really considered some of this stuff. I mean, when we were doing some research on some of this, it was kind of like, oh man, that is brilliant. Well, I mean, it's not something that I would put on a checklist before this episode, but now it's definitely on the checklist.
Right. And let's go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. This list is not exhaustive.
Nowhere close.
And it's not even close to everything that you should be doing. However, in the course of doing research, Kevin and I tried to find the 10 best ones that stood out to us.
Yep.
And you may be listening to this and go well, you left out this one that's really obvious, or this is a really good one. Great. Let us know.
Yeah, send us some information on that, because we're always looking to do things better.
We will give you a shout out as the cold weather genius.
No doubt.
In the next episode.
Along with this top 10 list.
Yeah.
They're in no particular order.
That's right.
I mean, because all these things need to be done. So,
other than that's the order we put them in.
Yeah, that's the ones that
deal with it.
It's how I wrote them down. So let's just go through the list, man. The very first one we have on the list is something I think most people are kind of more keenly aware of.
Right.
Is water faucets.
Water faucets.
Yeah, water faucets. You need to find a way to insulate them.
Yep.
If you don't, protect protect your pipes, then a couple of bad things are going to happen. The main one being that they could burst.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you have burst pipes, most of the time you don't know where your pipes are going. You're going to have to get someone in here to analyze it, and that's just time and money that you're going to have to pay someone. If you live in pier and beam, a little bit easier. If you live on a slab, dude, I mean, that could be really costly.
Oh, yeah.
If you have burst pipes in a slab, when most of the time all you have to do is insulate the outside water faucets and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned this because we were actually, me and my buddy were over at the hardware store tonight. And it was funny watching everybody go through the store buying that foam insulation.
Oh, yeah. The styrofoam.
The styrofoam stuff.
Yep.
Which at this point really isn't going to be helpful.
No.
Because one of the things my buddy pointed out is like, look, that doesn't warm your pipes up.
No.
It just keeps them the temperature they're at.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it keeps maybe some water off of it or those sorts of things. But you know, there's a couple of things you need to check for. Number one, you need to make sure that you don't have leaky faucets. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's pretty simple. Go watch it.
Right. And
if it leaks, you got a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if it drips, then you need someone to come out and fix it, or you need to figure out how to fix it yourself.
So I'll do my soapbox bit on this right now.
Okay.
I hate traditional faucets.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm a quarter turn dude all the way.
Me too.
I like it on or off.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't need it in between for my outside faucets.
Which I'll tell you, so our faucets at my house are quarter turn. All of them are. When I got there, they were already that way.
Right.
If you don't know what that means, most traditional faucets have like a little wheel on the top.
Yep.
And you got to turn and turn and turn and turn and turn.
They're terrible.
They're hard to use. I mean,
and they break.
They break easily. So the quarter turn, first of all, they're a lot easier to use. Most of mine just is a handle.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-inch handle. And
I actually like those better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean,
but I'm good either way, as long as they're quarter turn.
Yeah. Anybody can turn this on and off. My kids can easily turn it on and off. Trust me, I know. But, you know, yeah, those
it is
are
a
great.
lot of water pressure when it's
it
on.
Is.
Yeah.
It is. But one of the things you have to know is you got quarter turns. If you've got the long handle, you can't put those foam insulation things on there. They're not made for those. They're made for the cheap regular ones.
Yeah.
So you need to check, make sure they're not leaking, and you need to figure out a way to insulate them. A common way to insulate them: wrap a towel around them.
Sure.
I mean, just go to Walmart or somewhere cheap, the dollar store, and buy a hand towel, or wrap that sucker.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah. Better than nothing.
The bib covers are probably like around here at least. I don't know how this is done up north. I'm sure there's more sophisticated ways of doing it, and they have like pipe warmers and different things like that.
Yeah.
But down here, a bib cover will get you done.
Yes.
So the only thing I'll caution people about with the bib cover is if you leave, if you put them on in the wintertime and you don't use that bib over the winter, and you leave it on, into the springtime, just be cautious when you're taking those things off, because like spiders and stuff like to get up inside those, and because they get cold too.
Sure.
And that's just a warmer insulated place for them to, bunker down.
Yep. Another thing to check is if you've got a water hose connected, disconnect it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have a water hose connected at that time of the year. Probably not going to use it. But I mean, your water hose will freeze.
Yeah.
And
just take it in the garage.
Take it in the garage and make sure that they're out of the way.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on water faucets?
I think we're good. Okay.
Second one is check your heater. I mean, this seems like a no-brainer, right? Like, I've got an AC heater combo unit. It's no big deal, or it probably works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the last thing you want to do is get to a night like tonight and go turn on your heater and find that it doesn't work.
Right.
And there's lots of reasons that it might not work. we are not experts on that.
No.
We've got an episode on heating and air conditioning. It just happened to be air conditioning season, but they tell you to get on these biannual plans to where they will come check and service your system twice a year. They do it typically in the summer and in the winter.
Right.
Because those are the
heavy usage times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Craig, this is pretty easy. Go turn it on.
Sure.
Even if it's 90 degrees outside, go turn your heater on.
Yeah.
See if it comes on.
Well, particularly if you've got like me, I've got a gas heater.
Yeah.
And those orifices can get clogged and it's probably been, by the time you need to turn it on, it's probably been 6 months since you turned it on last time.
Yeah.
Or if
Most
not
likely.
longer, it's down here.
Sure.
And so like the chances of there being an issue with it are much more high if it hasn't been used in a long time. And so that's why these subscription programs with some of these maintenance companies are really, really good. And guys like Jehu are like, look, get on the program where you get these things at least looked at once every 6 months to make sure everything's in working order.
Yeah.
So
that's really important. And especially if you have a gas, specifically a gas heater, those lines can get bubbles in them and air pockets, and
I'll just tell you. Is your heater gas at your house? Is it electric?
The one at my previous house was. The one that I have now is electric.
Because when you turn a gas heater on and it's been a while, it'll put some funky smells through your house.
Sure.
And that can be alarming when you have gas appliances in the house if you're not used to smelling, odd smells. But a gas heater will, if it hadn't been on in a while, it'll put some awkward smells out there, and you'll kind of be peeking around going, is everything okay? Am I breathing all right?
Yeah. And that's normal.
Yeah.
It's just that initial blast coming out, and it goes away. It dissipates within an hour or so, and then you're not going to smell it again for a while. So check your heater, get someone out to check it for you
before it gets cold.
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty easy on that one.
Or it'll be after it gets cold and you'll be backed up for a week waiting for somebody to get out there because everybody else forgot to check it too.
Man, that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. These heating and air conditioning guys, they have 2 months that are stupid busy. It's like, June and November.
I guarantee you their phone lines are going to be lit up tomorrow.
Oh, goodness. Tomorrow's going to be horrible for them. But, you're also the ones that think, I've got to have a cover for my faucet. I'm going to go to the hardware store the night before. They're sold out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go to another hardware store. Oh, they're sold out. And it's just because you didn't plan ahead.
Right.
Plan ahead. Don't get yourself into a place where you're running around trying to find something to cover your faucet with.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, if that's what you're doing, go to the dollar store, buy a hand towel, just
wrap it around there.
Wrap it around.
Or suck it up and get rid of that beach towel you've been hanging on for the last 20 years.
Right.
It's no good anyway.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So check your heat. That's the number 2 homeowner show approved on the checklist. Number 2. All right. Number 3, reverse your fans.
Reverse the fans. I think a lot of people don't even know that this features on their fans.
Probably not. So if you're looking up at your ceiling fan and you've ever noticed, what is that little toggle switch?
Yeah.
That's to reverse your fan.
Right.
So whatever position it's in, up or down, your fan should, during normal operation, should turn counterclockwise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But reversing your fan allows it to turn clockwise. The reason you would do that is because, heat rises.
Right.
And so you reverse your fan, it's gonna blow the wind, the air. It's gonna blow the air up to your ceiling and circulate it back down.
Right.
So instead of, a lot of people like air circulating in their homes. We do. We've got ceiling fans in almost every room.
Yeah.
And so if you want air circulating, then reverse your fans. You're going to save on your overall heating bill because you're going to be circulating the heat back down to where your sleeping or sitting or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a little tiny thing that a lot of people just never do.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because a lot of people get used to air blowing on them with their ceiling fan, and they like that, and that's fine.
Sure.
But like, this is something that actually helps regulate the heat throughout the home, gets it dispersed, and keeps it from just sitting up top.
Yeah, and you'll feel airflow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different than it actually blowing on you.
Right.
But it's something that will overall it'll help your heating and air conditioning bill. And one of the other things that Jehu talked about was like, airflow is really, really important whenever it comes to how your air conditioning unit is working. Mm-hmm. Change your filters, those sorts of things. But if you can find ways to reduce the amount of times that your unit has to turn on, you're going to save money. You're going to increase the life of your unit. It's just going to be better for you. So reverse those fans, go into all your rooms, take a step stool, flip that toggle switch. Yeah, and you'll be good to go.
I got to tell you, and if you just need air on you, just get you like a little circulating fan or a box fan or something like that, and that'll push air on you. I got to tell you, man, like I went to this estate sale the other day, and I bought this bundle of antique fans.
Oh, really?
Yes,
dude. Some of those are really cool.
These are super cool.
Really?
Yeah. So I gave one to my sister. I gave her the big Mama Jama.
Okay.
It was her birthday, and she really liked it. And it was, I mean, that fan probably weighed like 40 pounds.
Oh yeah.
But it was a big cast iron, metal blades.
That's awesome.
Oscillating.
Yeah.
But it was like, look, don't let anybody, like, and the back of it was almost open. It just had a few wires. It's like, take your finger off.
Yes.
And all of them worked too, man.
Oh, cool.
Just super, super cool fans. I've got one in there on the shelf in the house. And
nice.
It's awesome.
Cool.
I love old fans.
Yeah. Yeah, they look neat, but you got to be careful.
Way more air than the plastic ones.
Yeah, they sure do.
So, I don't care if they're not as safe.
You'll care eventually.
Cool story about how you lost that pinky.
Yeah, what'd you do? Vintage fan. That's right. All right, number 4. This is one that I didn't know much about. I never really heard the phrase, but you need to prevent ice dams.
Prevent ice dams.
Yes. Do you know what an ice dam is?
No clue.
So
evil beavers.
Yeah. Not exactly. So ice dams happen when heat escapes through your roof, melts snow, and then the snow that's settled there, it melts it, and then it flows from your roof edges and refreezes, usually at the eaves, and pretty much creates icicles
with dirt and gunk.
Absolutely. So
sounds lovely.
Yeah. So if you see icicles, you probably have an ice dam.
Ah, okay.
So
because the water can't flow off the roof. Gotcha.
Exactly. So basically what you typically have is you've got clogged gutters, clogged downspouts. They're the number one cause of ice dams. The other thing is, like, if you just never got around to getting up on your roof and clearing off the leaves that fall during fall, then you're probably just asking for an ice dam, because that's where the snow is going to form and stay, and then whenever it melts, it doesn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So it just creates a dam. At that point, it's just a chunk of ice
waiting to fall on you.
Yeah, exactly. So ice is never something you want. It weighs a lot. And your roof is rated to hold what it's rated to hold. It's not rated to hold a bunch of ice on top of everything else, typically. So, clear all those things out. Make sure that you're keeping that clean. You want to seal places that may allow warm air to leak. So that's something that a roofer can help you with. But you can go around.
The heat's going to escape through the roof. I mean, like you can reduce it all you want, but like, I mean,
It's gonna. Well, I mean, most people have. I mean, at least down in this area, they've got open attics.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they've got a vent up there. And yeah, heat's gonna escape from there.
not that ice dams or something that we really struggle with down here. I think this is more of a Yank problem.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people have soffits.
Canadian.
Yeah, so maybe you've got a soffit. I mean, those things are meant to help air circulate on some level, and if they're clogged, they're just not going to do their what they're created to do. So anyway, make sure that all of those things are clean, and you should be good to go.
Didn't they say you could also get ice dams in your gutters?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people have gutters, and unless you've got a really, really good system that keeps leaves out,
right,
you need to clean those things. Not only that, like I remember you telling me that bugs love those.
Oh, heck yeah.
Plays, so cleaning them out does more than just prevent ice dams if it's really super cold outside.
If you think a food truck's a roach motel, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, they like those places. Yeah, so keep them clean. It's good for you anyway.
Yep.
The next one is clean and store your lawn equipment.
Oh.
So, there's a couple of things here that you need to consider, but, we talked about this in an episode a long time ago, just about like home organization.
Right.
A lot of people, they use their lawn equipment and then it just kind of goes where it goes in the garage. First of all, put that stuff away. Like,
well, clean it and then put it away.
Yeah, clean it. And I'll tell you, the reason that we're saying clean it is because fuel can absolutely destroy stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it eats through things, and if you've got oil and fuel that's on the outside of your trimmer or your lawnmower or whatever, expect to come back with a hole somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then the next year you're like, man, this thing doesn't work like it used to. Well, you allowed it to get that way. So
you didn't keep it like you were supposed to.
Exactly. So, especially gas powered stuff, you need to clean it. And one of the things that most manufacturers will tell you to do is empty the fuel out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the reason is that
unless you're going to be starting it on a regular basis,
right? And because fuel degrades over time, and so a lot of people use the same fuel from year to year to year because they filled up that 5-gallon container, still got some in there. It's good, but the problem is your equipment was built to run on a certain grade of fuel, just like your car is, And
if you don't know how to do that, there's also like fuel stabilizers and different things you can put in there to winterize equipment.
Absolutely. But just kind of, check over what your manufacturer recommends on those things. Clean oil and clean the gas off. It's just a smart thing to do.
I tell you another good reason to clean it off before you put it in the garage is, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that you're dealing with organic matter. Yeah. Like leaf clippings and grass and different things like that. And I can't tell you the number of times someone's called me saying that I think something died in my garage. And come to find out, it's like, no, you just didn't take the grass clippings out. And they're starting to, break down.
Yep.
And it smells like everything else that breaks down when it dies and decays. It smells like death.
Yep.
And it's not pleasant.
Not only that, it can mold.
Yeah, you get secondary problems that way, but like, just the unpleasant smell alone is worth it to, clean that stuff off before you get it in there.
Sure it is.
So just winterize your stuff, man.
Absolutely. So another thing you could do that I think is really, really important is to go around and check the caulking on your windows and doors.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing how cold it is in here because that window over there is not caulked.
Just that one window.
That
right
one
there
window.
that I haven't caulked yet.
That's the problem, man.
Yeah.
But
imagine how much colder it would be if that window just wasn't there.
Okay, fine. Sure, if you want to go down that road.
I did.
But one of the things that happens over time is your caulking, it degrades too.
Yep.
It breaks down, it cracks.
Well, with heat and cold, things expand and contract.
Exactly.
And caulk is, malleable like that.
Right. So, go around and just kind of inspect it. And if you see anything that, looks like, oh, that's cracked, or, it looks like there's a hole there.
Yeah.
Or some of the caulk is actually missing. I didn't even realize I swept it up one day or vacuumed it up one day. It's gone. If something doesn't look right, it's probably because it needs more caulking. So
yeah.
A lot of that kind of stuff, you can just go right over the other stuff.
If you have the time, just do it right and remove it and put brand new stuff down.
It's not that difficult to do.
You can buy a kit at Home Depot. I think it's like $6. One tool is for removing it. The other tool is for putting an even bead down.
Yep.
And
don't have any issues with getting your finger in there and
yeah.
It'll
come off.
It comes off. Use your finger.
If it really grosses you out, just get some nitrile gloves.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing on this, go watch a YouTube video. There's tons of people out there that can show you how to caulk your windows and doors.
Or you know what? Hire somebody. Some of these guys are just artists and really know what they're doing when it comes to this caulk.
And really, it's not that expensive.
No.
They can come out, check and see what you need, and probably in an hour they can reseal your entire
and I don't know if you remember the solar episode that we did. That's actually one of the services a lot of these companies are offering now. Is they'll come out and do the energy efficiency test on your home, and whatever that they feel like it needs, they're just going to upgrade it.
Sure,
and
for free
because they want your home to be energy efficient.
Yes, they do.
So,
yep, really, really, really important. So
sometimes you can get that for free.
Yeah, and it's really
granted you're spending $60,000 to $80,000 on solar, but
gotta do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
So yeah. Also, different caulks are gonna work differently.
Make sure you're using the right one.
Yeah, don't just go buy a gun and a tube of caulk and go, oh, this is what the homeowner show told me to do.
Yeah, read labels, folks.
Absolutely.
Be a person.
Be a person. Yeah, exactly. All right, the next one: inspect and clean your chimney.
Ooh, that's a big one.
And
since we just got off caulk, there's actually fireplace caulk.
Yes, there is. And it's different.
It's really important that if you're going to caulk a fireplace, that you use fireplace caulk.
Very, very important.
Yes.
Because that stuff's flammable.
Yeah.
So get the right stuff. But, if you've got a fireplace in your home, again, it's a fun way to create a cool environment, a mood. It sets a tone for the room, especially if you got friends over or whatever. But inevitably, here's what happens to me. I'm like, oh, we should have some friends over. Invite them over. And it's like an hour before they get there. And it's like, we should build a fire.
Yeah.
I haven't looked in there in over a year. And to be honest, I've never even lit the one at our house. So I think it works.
Yeah. Is y'all's gas?
It has a gas element.
Okay.
So it's got a gas starter, basically. Okay. But, unless you've got gas logs that are just easy, you use real wood, then you're creating soot, and you can have a real big problem if you're not cleaning your chimney. And if you don't know how to clean your chimney, call a chimney sweep.
Yeah. Well, I think the other reason they want, it's a good idea to do that kind of inspection is because the flue on your chimney is really important to make sure that it can open and close. Right. Because if you're not going to have a fire in there, you want that thing closed.
Yeah.
Because it can let cold air in.
Sure can. And also you need to kind of know what if you're using gas logs, a lot of times you just leave the flue closed anyway because you want the heat inside.
Sure.
So, but not all gas logs are compatible with that. So you kind of got to
Right.
know what you're using.
And there's good and bad gas logs. I mean, because
Yes, there are.
some gas logs can create soot and smoke too.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily completely clean burning.
Yeah. So, one of the things to do, I mean, kind of put your hand in there. You shouldn't feel any cold air coming down the chimney.
Right.
If you do, then you've got a problem. Maybe your flue's open.
A lot of people don't know how to shut the flue.
Yeah, typically it's inside your chimney.
Yeah.
Typically there's like a little chain inside your chimney, and you just pull the chain and it switches the flue.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to do that, either ask someone, get on YouTube again, find a video, or call a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
They're available. Again, the amount of money that you're going to spend on someone coming out and checking this out for you is probably way better money spent than the amount of money you might lose by the efficiency of your home being super cold.
Yeah.
So just a good practice to get into whenever it's time for the cold weather. The next one,
What number are we on here?
we're on that was 7.
That was 7?
Yeah, that was
man,
7.
We're in the home stretch.
We are. So
let's roll.
Number 8, we got 3 left. This kind of goes back to the water faucet deal. You need to drain and winterize your sprinkler system. So if you've got a sprinkler system, which a lot of people do, it is really important that you drain it. Because if you don't know how those things work, they're pretty simple. Water comes through the pipes whenever you turn it on, and the sprinkler head pops up, and all of a sudden you've got sprinklers going, right?
Right.
Whenever you turn that off, the water is still in the pipes.
Right.
It's just like anything else. You don't have to turn your water on at your kitchen sink and wait for the water to get through the pipes. It's already there.
Right.
Same thing with irrigation systems. You need to make sure that there's no water in the pipes, because if there is, again, you're going to have a big problem. They're going to burst.
Right. And this is not the episode for us to get into how to do that, because it's probably pretty involved. But I imagine there's YouTube videos. But if you really feel uncomfortable, I would just call a landscaping company that has an irrigation license.
Yeah. So yes, either call a landscaping company that has the irrigation license or an irrigation specialist. Either way, most of these guys will come out, and for between $50 and $100, they'll do it for you.
Right.
And it's easy. Doesn't take them very long, but you'll be safe. Now, there's another thing that you got to be careful about. Mm-hmm. And this is something that we deal with down here in Houston, because it just doesn't get that cold all that often. And so people don't ever think about, do you know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about the backflow preventer? Is that
that's the one?
That's the one that people always break. And
Yep. So there's about backflow preventer on your sprinkler system if you have one. They call it like a bell.
It looks like a bell.
It looks like a bell. They call it like the bell. Anyway, so
actually, and also because they're typically made of brass.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of people moving over to the plastic ones because they don't freeze as easy.
Yeah, because what happens is that water builds up in there, and it literally will pop that bell off, and you'll have water shooting through the air, and you got to go turn off the water at the main. This is pretty much the easiest way to do that. So it's just a problem. So know where that thing is. My mother-in-law actually was like, hey, that's kind of an eyesore. And she built a little box to go over it. And so for us, it's going to be a matter of just, kind of packing that box with some insulation that's not, going to, if it gets wet, it's not going to, cause a bigger problem.
Yeah.
But you need to protect that too, because that's a problem you don't want to wake up to.
No.
And that's when it's going to happen, isn't it?
I've actually had that happen.
2 o'clock in the morning. that was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Well, not. I don't have a sprinkler system here. This would have been 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, maybe you just told me about it 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I think it was like 24 degrees outside. The thing popped and water was going. I had to get up underneath the water, and it actually had a shutoff valve there underneath the valve. But yeah,
well, that's handy.
I was miserable.
Oh, so cold.
Yeah,
is not worth. Just figure out a way to insulate that thing.
Yeah,
and hopefully save yourself some heartache. All right, number 9. Have a plan for your pets.
Big one,
dude. I mean, you're going to hear this on the radio. You're going to hear it on TV. You know, it's like bring your pets in if it gets too cold, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I cannot stress this enough. If you're cold, they're cold.
Yep.
And Craig, you and I, we're used to having Aussies.
Yep.
And they put on a coat, and they've got like layer after layer after layer of coat. They're still going to be cold.
Yeah, they're still cold.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a few things you can do. If you can bring them in, bring them in.
Sure.
I mean, that's going to be the best thing. But, you know, some people have outdoor only dogs.
Yeah.
You have outdoor only dogs. No, they come in, don't they?
They come in. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to stay in the barn tonight, but they've got blankets and lamps, and I mean, they're fine.
Yeah. So I think you hit the nail on the head just now. Like we had our Aussie was an outdoor dog. He came in sometimes, but we made sure that he had a place where he had a heat lamp and he had blankets. And so, man, a lot of times he would never go into his doghouse until it was cold.
Yeah.
And then he'd go in there where the blankets were and the heat lamp was, and hopefully he was warm. If it got really, really cold, we'd bring him in, and we would endure it through the night. If he didn't have a good night, it didn't matter, man.
One thing I think is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to is which way the opening, like if you have an outdoor dog and you have a doghouse, which way the opening's face. You need to make sure that opening's facing south.
Yes.
So like our barn where our horses are, and actually I was out there putting blankets on them tonight because it was cold.
Yeah.
But the barn opens on the south side because all the cold wind comes from the north side.
Yes, it does.
And so if you're going to put an exterior structure outside for your pet, make sure that it has a south facing opening so that they're not having cold air blow directly into that structure. It just keeps it warmer in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't be fooled that if you have an indoor pet that they're going to be warm just by being indoors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how often do you sit around under a blanket or, you know, put on another layer? You know, my wife is constantly with a sweatshirt on or under a blanket, whatever. And, you know, a lot of these dogs, especially the smaller indoor dogs, they don't have big coats.
No.
And so, you know, you can buy little vests for them. And you know, I was so opposed to this for years and years. I was like, don't put clothing on a dog or a cat. Are you kidding me? What are you thinking? But you know what? Sometimes they need it.
I'm still opposed to it.
Well, sometimes these little ones need it.
Yeah. If I see you doing it, I'm just going to, not you, I mean like everyone. I'm going to judge you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
So
I'd rather him be judged.
Not even like quietly.
I'd rather be judged than be alive. What happened? Well, Craig was judging me, and I took it off. Now my dog's...
You gave your dog your coat?
No, not my coat. I'm just saying, if you judge me, maybe I won't put clothes on them, and then they're cold. What then?
Fine.
It's on you.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still need to have a plan for your pets.
Yep. I'm good with a plan.
Whatever it is.
Should not involve a knitted sweater.
Okay. You might, I mean, some dogs just need to let their coat come out, or cats.
That's a big pet peeve of mine is people that shave Aussies.
Oh,
it's the worst. Don't ever do that, people.
Don't do it.
They're not hot.
No, they're not.
Anyway.
they're made that way.
Another topic, another day.
All right, last one. You ready?
Yep.
All right, last one. This is kind of a catch-all in some ways, but stock up on winter essentials. Okay, so let's talk about what some of those things might be. You probably need to have some sort of salt or ice melt around.
Yes.
I mean, if you've got exposed porches or a driveway, which most people have something of the sort, you need to have something that you can put down if it freezes. Like tonight, it's going to get down to freezing or maybe below, and it has rained most of the afternoon. So there's a very big possibility you wake up and there's ice. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, I've slipped and fell on ice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hurts.
oh, goodness gracious! It hurts. I mean, it hurts to fall anyway, but like, it's different falling just because you tripped over something and hitting something and your legs being completely taken out from under you.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one day I was going into work and I opened my truck door like I always do, just hop out. And I hopped out on ice, man.
Ooh.
And I thought I broke my tailbone.
Yeah.
I mean, my phone landed
Probably on asphalt. It's like that black ice. Yeah.
It was. My phone landed about 30 feet away from me. I didn't hit my head, but I walked in to the office and everybody's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, I'm hurt. Like, this is awful. So have something. And they also make de-icer for your windshields.
Yep.
That stuff works really well. Finding something to help mitigate the ice problem,
right,
is going to be really, really good. It's a good time to also make sure your fire extinguishers are charged.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think about it in the wintertime, but fire can happen whenever. So make sure that your fire extinguisher is charged.
Smoke detectors too.
Yeah. It's a good time to, change those out. Make sure you're prepared with that kind of stuff. The other thing that's a really, really big thing is find another heat source. Mm-hmm. An alternative heat source, whether it's a generator or a propane heater. I remember. So I lived in the panhandle of Texas, which gets pretty cold.
Yeah.
During the wintertime. And I played golf almost every day. Mm-hmm. But we had like a cover on the golf cart, and I had a little propane heater that sat in the cup holder and it heated up the golf cart. It was awesome. But you can buy little propane heaters, and whether it's a fireplace, blankets. This is not an exhaustive list in any way, but another heat source. If your heater goes out, you need to have a way to stay warm.
You gotta have something. Yeah, and propane is probably the best backup you can have.
I think so. It's very, very. It's very
portable.
Good.
It's light. It's efficient.
Yep.
You can have it in the house without really having much ventilation.
Yep.
If it's a ventilation-free heater,
sure,
you got to check all that kind of stuff. But there's like tabletop heaters that you could, if you got in a pinch, you could set that. If you got, a hard surface floor, put that thing down, break out the sleeping bags.
Yep,
stay toasty.
Yeah, even in our RV, runs on propane heat, but we've got a little space heater that would pretty much heat up our entire RV if we needed it.
Right.
It's electric, so it's a different fuel source that if something goes out, hopefully we have another option. So,
because what happens when you run out of propane?
All right. Yeah.
Which hopefully you got backups of that. But,
exactly.
Still.
But what happens if, just make sure you're prepared. Kind of on that note, get your car ready. Make sure you've got blankets in your car. If you break down on the side of the road, good luck. You need a blanket in your car, at least one. A couple would be good. Winterize your, recreational vehicles, boats, RVs, those sorts of things. If you don't know how to do that, check with your manufacturer. Again, go online. There's people that can help you know how to do those things. So,
yeah. And I guess kind of the overall point here is like, just take a moment to sit down and go through like, what is it that I'm responsible for?
Yeah.
And what would happen to that thing that I'm responsible for if it got cold?
Yeah.
Really, really cold.
Yeah.
Do I need to make some adjustments? Probably.
Most likely.
Yeah. So just, take stock of what you're responsible for and Make the adjustments.
That's right. So that's our list. Water faucets, check your heater, reverse your fans, prevent ice dams, clean and store lawn equipment, caulk windows and doors, inspect and clean the chimney, drain and winterize your sprinkler system, have a plan for your pets, and stock up on those winter essentials.
Yep. And again, this is not an exhaustive list. These are just the ones that stood out to Kevin and me. Kevin and I.
Nope.
Kevin and
you're right.
whom?
Kevin and me, please. Please, people, you're about to get me on a soapbox. Kevin and me was correct.
Kevin and me?
It's not always and I. In fact, most of the time it's not.
Oh.
Keep going.
I don't care.
I care too much. Too much.
Now I'm going to do it wrong on purpose.
Well, of course you are. Thanks.
Which would probably have happened anyway.
You probably would do it wrong on purpose and it would somehow be right.
Yes, thinking I was doing it wrong on purpose.
Exactly.
Yes. Reverse spite.
Whatever works for me.
So, where were we?
We were done.
We were done.
That's
fantastic.
We have nothing else to say.
Yes. So if you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because, we're done with this long list of winterizing things and you'll want to hear the next list that we do.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of top 10s here.
I like them.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Me or everybody else?
Everybody else.
Okay. No one cares what I think.
No, I don't.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It was really funny last week when Haley actually did something on Twitter and I was just like, no, I'm not responding to that.
Exactly. That's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, follow us all those fun places. Subscribe to the show. Send us an email or a message if there was something that we left off the list that was crucial or important or just, important to you personally and you need to get it off your chest.
And please
direct it to Kevin.
If you yeah, surely I'll reply. But definitely, I mean, if you're a subscriber, go leave us a review. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. Go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Just so you know, iTunes podcast is of the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't even exist anymore.
Not there.
Apple Podcast is the way of the future. So go search us on Apple Podcasts, The Homeowner Show. Leave us a review. We'd really, really appreciate it.
We actually did get a review on Podbean the other day.
Oh.
And all it said was, love Mel.
Oh.
I don't know if that was from her or...
Doesn't matter.
I don't think it was her. It was someone with a completely different name.
Well,
but all it said was love Mel with a heart. I just assumed that meant that they loved Mel.
I would hope so.
We were happy to receive that review.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
One of our Android people, I'm sure.
Yep. There you go. Well, listen, thanks for downloading the episode. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. It'll come out in the morning, so it will not be tonight in the morning, but hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back next Tuesday. Rain, sleet, snow, hail.
But not drought.
We're out. No. If a drought comes, good luck, y'all. We're out.
We're out looking for water.
But until then, we'll see you next time.
See ya.